Og den er på.
Den er på.
Og den er på. Ok.
Hello.
Lulululu. Der nede. Sånn. This is the first episode of this podcast.
Yes.
That we have created.
Yes, absolutely. The first episode that we should share. That it's not. So the second one, we went into social media and talked about it a lot, and we realized we didn't really introduce ourselves that much.
No, and we didn't really introduce the podcast that much either. So we really think that it's a good episode about like working with social media and pros and cons of social media in general. But we didn't want it to be the first episode, so we have changed it a bit.
This is the first episode that you'll see.
Yeah.
And then you'll get the second episode after this one.
Yeah.
So it's that easy.
Yeah. So if we repeat ourselves a little bit, then that's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
What we decided that this podcast is going to be about is the creative journey.
Yeah.
Being freelance. Being friends. Because we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah. Almost 10 years now.
Almost 10 years. And just like how to work through being a creative person, doing it, like actually having your own business.
Yes. Being self-employed, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think many of our friends are both freelance and they work with something creative.
Actually, yeah.
A lot of artists and different things. So we also have a few people that we would really like to interview, but we will see if they want to be interviewed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And first off, we should probably say our names.
Yeah.
Who are we? So 10 minutes into the video.
This is still going so well. Wow, yeah.
So you are?
My name is Maria, and I work with both teaching youngsters and kids all over Norway about wild plants and foraging. And I also have a YouTube channel where I share my life in the countryside of Norway, and also I share a bit about wild edible plants on there.
Cool. That's so cool. So I'm Anna. I'm an artist. I have my own art shop.
Yeah.
Where we are recording right now.
Yeah, this cozy place.
Yes. I'm a little bit hoarse today. I'm a horse today.
Yes. Okay.
So
good introduction.
I'm recovering from just like a cold.
Yeah.
So if I sound a little bit, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you sound okay.
Yes.
I think you sound okay.
Okay, it's probably just me.
I think it's you.
Stuff too.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, so I have an art shop. I've been part of like a collective art shop before with two other girls for 6 years, and now I'm here with my own shop.
Yeah.
And I've been drawing for 7 years. So not really that long.
But haven't you been drawing before that shop?
Not a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty like a newborn artist.
I think 7 years is still quite a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
7-year-olds can walk.
Yeah.
And run. So yeah.
And your income is mostly from this shop, right? Just to be like, I don't know, I think it's interesting sometimes how people make a living as artists.
I agree.
Is it the shop or is it something online?
No,
or
it's the shop. But I want to progress into like promoting my web shop a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little bit of Patreon because you've inspired me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Yes. Let's start off.
Yeah.
Why do you create?
What I create?
Why you create?
Oh, why I create?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I'm gonna start off with like the broadest question ever.
It's a good one though. Yeah. Why I create? I think that's really good that you're asking, because I'm actually making a Q&A and someone actually asked that question and I didn't get to answer it. So then they will have the answer here, I think. Yeah, I think it's difficult to answer because for me, I think I create because it makes me happy. So I don't really have those like broad thoughts about the things that I'm creating and how they are going to change the world. And I feel like I mostly create because I love creating and I love being in the process of creating, and it makes me happy and it makes me very present. It makes me really like here and now. And I had actually many years where I wasn't creating anything, and I was a bit more sad, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Same.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when I was coming back from the writer studies in Bø, I think that's now 5 years ago or something, I started studying again, literature studies, and I didn't like manage to actually balance writing with my studies, so I ended up just doing the writing for a while there, and just doing the studying, I mean, for a while there, and then the writing had to just like wait.
Yeah.
And I was really sad. I felt very sad about it, and it felt really horrible, actually.
Out of balance, because you need that part of your life as well.
I do, definitely.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like I was present in the same way. I love reading, which is what I did when I was studying literature. I was like constantly reading, and I love that, but it's still very different from creating. And I've come to realize more and more that I'm actually more of a creating type of person than I am like a taking in art kind of person.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't have the need to listen to music all the time. I don't have the need to read that much anymore, and I just...
me neither. Yeah. I miss reading though.
Yeah, we should talk about that as well.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I love reading because it makes me also more present in a way. So I think it's also about the world we live in and how we are losing our concentration skills.
Yes.
But I think definitely that I've always preferred like making things, and I've done that since I was a kid. I used to like paint as well and draw. I drew like cartoons, a lot of cartoons, and I wrote since I was about 12, I think. I started writing my novels. I made like these fantasy novels. I have like 7 books.
7?
Yes.
That's crazy. Like I started too. I had like a whole concept and everything of 3 books, and I wrote 1 chapter, and that was it. I was like, no, this is too hard.
Actually, for me, that was the thing that made me stop, was when I knew what was going to happen. So in the beginning, I just wrote them, and then eventually I started to have this whole concept, and then I couldn't write them anymore.
I loved planning it out. I love the concept bits of it, like trying to figure out the characters and how they would evolve, and all the like arcs and stuff. Love that part, but the writing, writing it, so hard.
It is, but I think it is what maybe kills a lot of writing, because the fun in writing is not knowing exactly what is going to happen. And when you know what's going to happen, the only thing you have to do is just write it out.
Yeah, it's like point by point.
And then it's not fun anymore, because it's not a creative process anymore. It's just like nee.
Oh my god.
I feel like
thought about it like that before.
I think some people write with like planning it out as well, but a lot of people say that the most fun part of writing is when you write something that you didn't even know you had in your head.
Yeah, but
that's for me as well.
State as well. It just like pours out of you, like
exactly. And I think it's hard to have the flow state when you know what's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that back when I tried to write.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the writing. How do you feel like that works into your work now? Like, how do you use writing in your work?
It's a good question. I think I've thought about that a lot lately. So I think also one of the things that I love about creating is actually just telling stories. And I was telling stories by writing before, but now I'm telling stories through my videos. So I feel like storytelling is still like a thing that I love, and I feel like I tell stories about my own life now, and stories from my own life, I guess. And also with the voiceovers, I actually sit down and I write them. So I usually have a book.
Like word for word? So there's no
Sometimes it's improvised. It is, but a lot of the times if I improvise, I will say the same words over and over again. And I will say "and" a lot.
I say "like."
Yeah, exactly.
Like.
yeah. So I think sometimes it's good to write it. Also, if I want to write something a bit more like poetic in a way, I sit down and I write it while I am by my computer, and then I just use the microphone. So sometimes I actually use the writing a bit more like specifically, but mostly I think it's about the storytelling through the visuals as well.
Because you have a plan before you start, or do you look at the footage and then it's like, okay, how does the story fit together?
I think when I've filmed for like a month and not edited, then I have no clue what I'm doing at all, and it's just about trying to piece it together, and it takes like over a week. Like it takes over a week to just make sense of it, and it's the hardest videos, but sometimes those are the best ones.
Yes,
actually, because I think that's when I have to be the most creative in a way, because I have to like really plan out a storyline that is not really there. Like it's kind of a storyline that is from reality, but at the same time I have to make it in a way. I have to create the storyline so that things are pieced together in a good way. And I mean, our lives aren't really pieced together in a logical way all the time. So I have to do that in the editing process. I feel like.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I have a plan. Like when I filmed the video here in Bergen about like just taking people around in places that I love here, then I have a specific plan. And then it takes me maybe a day or two.
Yeah, because you have the plan already when you're filming it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But those, I think it's the same as with writing actually. I'm realizing now, but those videos are like the most boring to edit.
Oh, yeah, because you've already planned it out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The creative process already.
Yeah, exactly. I think then the filming is fun and the rest is kind of boring, actually.
Like when I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at my art because we're in my art shop. So I have my art up here and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't think I've done any of them without any planning beforehand.
Yeah,
like so none of them are like freehand.
Yeah,
it's with a sketch and with
like
a color plan and everything. So I think that's just like
we're different.
It's different creative process.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
But do you plan the colors as well?
Well, sometimes I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I just have like a vision of how it's going to look when it's done. So I know like the hues and I know the contrasts and stuff.
Yeah.
But other times it's just like I just sit down with a sketch that's just like a blank piece of paper and just lines, and then I just go for whatever I feel like I want to put on.
Yeah.
But usually it ends up being like blue and pink orange.
Blue and pink orange.
Because I love those two colors together. So now I'm looking at like two over there that is like just blue and orange.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
So I love that color combination. That's my favorite. And I try to not lean too much on it because I can't. Not every piece of art can be those colors.
Or can it?
I can.
Maybe.
Who will decide?
Yeah, but it's true actually. A lot of them have some similar colors in it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll try. Like, I want to try just having a blank piece of paper, trying to just like do it.
Yeah, maybe it's like a bit scary then.
Yeah, it's so scary. It's so scary because it's like
so that
no plan at all.
Norwegian,
Yeah. I went Norwegian there for a moment. It's not scary. But yeah, it's like a blank piece of paper is sometimes my worst nightmare because it's the pressure of the white from the paper.
Yeah,
it's like
I feel
so many. Yeah, because you can do anything, and that's the thing. If I need to be narrowed down a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's too many opportunities.
I felt like that with the writing as well.
Yeah.
But I feel with the videos, it's easier because it's always just like I film things in my life.
Yeah.
And when I film something, I've already started, kind of mapping out that white paper.
Yeah.
So as soon as I have some footage, it's like it's already started, and that part isn't really that hard. I think the filming part is easy.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah, compared to the editing, which is so heavy sometimes.
So dry.
Yeah, and it's fun, but it's so much work. Like I sometimes feel like I've poured my whole like being into something. When I come out of the editing process and I'm just finished with it, I just feel like I'm empty, like completely empty.
You never want to watch it again.
Yeah, and also just like I walk out and I'm like, oh, I'm free now, I can do whatever I want, and I just feel so empty inside. Like I've poured so much energy into it that I'm just drained. Yeah, completely drained. And I don't have anything more like exciting in my head either. It's like I've maybe put all of my stories and everything, all my thought process is going into this video. So when I'm finished with it, like just having a conversation with a person, I just feel like I don't have anything exciting to say at all. I'm just like the most boring person.
Just a shell of a person.
Yeah, I really feel like that.
I think like that's a good thing in a way, even though it sounds like a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because you put so much of yourself into it. Like that means it's authentic.
Yeah.
And it means like you put hard work into it. It's not just something you just made.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I sometimes felt like with the writing that I actually could feel. I felt really good after writing something. If I wrote something that I was really happy about, then going out after that, I felt like so energized. Like I had this like intense feeling. Yeah. And I felt like my thoughts and everything were just really clear in a way. I think it's just about like the different types of mediums and how they affect your brain in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but screen time is never a good time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's that should be like the title of the podcast.
T-shirt. Screen time is never a good time. And we say that to people watching this on YouTube. Don't turn us off.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Leave it on.
But do you miss writing?
Yeah, I do. But I think I miss that state that you can that like I think it's sort of like a rush kind of, and like hva er det rusa på engelsk da?
Yeah, it's like a rush or a high.
A high.
Yeah,
that's a good one. So I feel like it's a high when you write something good. It's really a high, and I really felt like I was more present with my thoughts and my like inner process when I was writing, while when I'm editing videos I'm much more present with the outer world. Like I'm not so present actually with my inner world. Like that kind of has to wait. And the outer world is the thing that is important. Like the lighting and the nature and the season and the weather, all of those things that I'm like filming and using in my videos. So it's a lot like outwards kind of, while the writing was very inside.
Yeah.
And I missed that, like I missed that thing. But I don't really miss sitting there with my computer just being super frustrated, because writing is so much harder for me than video.
And when you get stuck.
It's so heavy, and it's a lot about concentration, because it's with the videos you still get like the visuals all the time, so I feel like your brain you get really stimulated. So I feel like your brain is like, ooh, this is exciting, I can do this for hours on end, you know. But with writing it's just like my brain just wants to like you know.
In any way you can. Yeah,
so it's way harder actually, I think
you need
to
more
concentrate.
Self-discipline in a way.
So it's hard in different ways, I guess. What about you? Are you able to concentrate when you're painting? Because that's like a thing in between, I guess.
When I get into flow state, which I've gotten better and better at getting into my flow state. Like I talk about flow state like it's a religion. It feels like a religious experience once I get there.
It is.
Like I remember when I've been not in balance with myself, like my mental health or just like my health in general, it's so easy to just distract yourself from painting or creating because it feels so hard. It feels so hard. But now when I get in flow state, and sometimes I need music in the background, or I need like a podcast, or sometimes it's just quiet, and suddenly I wake up and it's been 3 hours and my back is aching and I need to pee so bad, and it's like I've just been lost in the painting. That feels amazing. So I know that feeling, like the high that you get from being so in the zone, being into it that much. But like it doesn't always happen. So sometimes I just have to power through. Like right now I have so many paintings going on at the same time. I think I have 27 paintings going on at the same time.
It's a lot.
And like yesterday I divided them into 2 batches. One batch is for the paintings that I feel like, okay, this is something I'm going to maybe be proud of. And the other ones are just like, I never want to look at them again.
How big was the...
So it's half and half, which is kind of disappointing. But then I can sort of realize that, okay, the ones that I know I'm going to enjoy, I will save for when I'm in flow state. The other ones I can sort of just like fuck around with.
Yeah.
So then I can play around, and then sometimes they turn into the best ones because then I don't have the high pressure of actually making something good out of them. Because once I really love the process of an artwork, I'm so terrified of fucking it up.
Yeah.
I shouldn't swear so much, sorry. I'm really terrified of messing them up.
Yeah.
So then the high pressure makes it very difficult to get into flow state once you really like the work you're doing.
I know the feeling. Yeah.
So it really depends.
That's a good, actually, like a tip for people, I think. If they have something they're not super happy about, then maybe keep going with that and just like let it go.
Use it as like a
playground.
Yeah, like an experience, like experiment. Just try something new. Try something you haven't dared to do with something you actually like. Because I'm so scared of just like messing it up. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Why do you create them?
I mean, the same answer as you, kind of. Because it gives such a nice feeling. It feels like that's what I'm here to do. And I mean, it's such a hard question though, because it gives such a nice feeling, and it's a part of me that I really value, in a way, that I can create something. So when someone comes into the shop and they say, how can you just draw this from a blank piece of paper? How can you just like, how do you get ideas and put it out there? And I really, really love that part of my brain, that it can visualize a piece and I can actually put it on paper. Sometimes it feels like magic.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a curse.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard.
That makes sense.
But it is like, it feels like a magical thing to be able to create.
It is. Yeah. And I mean, it helps so much as well if you have like, if I've been feeling down also, like just having this outlet.
It's an expression.
So, yeah. And it's just giving me so much like more happiness than when I'm not doing it, you know?
Yeah, and even like I should paint more for just me. Right now, since I have an art shop, it's kind of hard because I create for someone else. Even though it's not someone else, I still do it for me. I don't do many commissions, so still like every piece of artwork that I make is because I want to make it. But there's always a little bit of a business brain that just says, will this sell? Will like people buy this? And then I try to like shh.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be for me. But
yeah, that's kind of like with YouTube as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the same, that you have the people that you want to target in a way in your mind as you are creating, and sometimes it can be really good because it's a fuel in a way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also really horrible because it kind of stops you from creating some things. Yes, exactly. Yeah, but I think I mean, money is involved here, you know, to be able to create as much as you do, you have to sell as well. So in a way, it makes sense as well that you have to think a little bit about that. And you have to spend your time painting things that you are going to sell here. Yeah. You can't really spend your time just painting for you, because you have to sell them if you're going to keep the shop.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing.
But you're really productive though, like I said that before, but I think, it's interesting how, like, I know a lot of people that do visual arts, and they work in very different ways. I think some people work like for half a year with just like research and all those things before they create this like huge artwork, you know? And you are more like, you really like, you could paint a new thing every day, or like almost?
I think I could if I had like the whole day to just paint, yes. I think I could like try to work out an idea and then have it finished by night, but then there's no breaks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It wouldn't have been that good for you, but it would have been possible.
It would be possible.
Because I think you really produce like a lot of artworks in a very short amount of time, and it feels like it's just like constantly flowing in a way.
That's an episode that I want to have. Is our creative process. Yeah. And how we like from beginning to end, because I feel like that's so interesting to learn about other people.
Let's nerd about that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really interesting how people work in that way.
Absolutely.
And I think that's also ties into like how to earn money from your art, because I think if you are like you, like you can produce quite a lot of things in 1 week in a way, then it's easier to have a shop like this.
Yeah.
Whilst if you are on the other side where you need half a year to produce like one artwork, then maybe this isn't the path, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe there's other things you should...
It sounds more like insecure because you have then a half a year of work that you don't know if will sell.
Yeah.
But I want to try to get a little bit more slow in my process.
Yeah.
Because right now, as I said, I have 27 paintings that I'm working on. Like sometimes it feels like I'm a factory, where I just like have I have a stack of paintings and I paint. And then I switch it out and I paint. And it feels like I'm a machine.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be a machine. It's supposed to be art.
Yeah, that's true.
So when I'm finished with the ones that I really love of this like stack of paintings, I want to take it real slow. And I want to do a lot of research. I want to do some studies. So I want to try to take it slower once I'm finished with this like batch of work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you will create something different then.
Yeah, I think so. Because I want to learn more techniques.
Yeah.
And right now I'm leaning a lot on my old techniques, like things I know how to do. Because it feels like I'm working on finishing this batch for summer because tourists are coming. They buy originals and I should have like a buffer. I should have like a lot of paintings ready for when like some sell. I need to get more up on the walls because if they're empty then it's kind of a crisis.
Yeah.
So this is more like I need the buffer to get me through summer. Yeah. But when these are ready, then I can spend all the time I want.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So in a way you can be factory for a while and then that gives you some time to do other things.
Still, you know? I really want to, like I put my heart into it, like the sketching process and all that, it's still like a very...
Yeah, of course.
Like, I don't want it to be a factory.
Yeah.
You know? It's still like my children. When I'm finished with them, it's like, this is my child, please take care of it. But yeah.
But I think we live in a world where productivity is so high valued and also where everything has to be fast paced if you are going to earn any money.
Yeah.
So I think the factory feeling is part of a lot of types of jobs. Even the art world, you can definitely feel like a factory and an artist at the same time, and it can feel like that's the way you have to do it if you are going to earn any money at all.
Absolutely.
I feel like that sometimes, and I feel like sometimes I've been a factory as well with the videos, like for sure. So, and I think now just posting one video a month is actually for YouTube not a very smart move, because YouTube wants you to post at least one video a week. And like I see some creators saying like, now we have moved away from posting regularly and that kind of thing is not important anymore, and then they say, so you can post once a week now. And I'm like, once a week? Is that little for you? Like, that's crazy. And they of course make other types of videos, but it's like, when I was posting every other week, I felt so much like a factory. Like, and so in a way it helped me grow, and now I feel like I can rest a bit more on the growth that's already there. But in a way sometimes you have to be a factory
but I
make
agree.
it work, you know.
And now you can be a little bit more creative with the process, right? Because you can take your time, you can work on it.
It's way more fun.
And also you have a lot of work on the side because you and your boyfriend does the tours. With the kreative skolesekken.
The cultural school bag. You can say it in English.
The cultural school bag. Is it actually an English thing too?
No, but it's they have it in English as well, because you can be an international person just living here in Norway or just traveling to Norway to do this. So like, they have the page in English as well.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we do, it's kind of a thing that you can apply for, that you can do here in Norway, where you apply for the cultural school bag, and we do that every year around October. And then if you are lucky, the municipalities or the counties all over this country will select your project, and you can tour in their county or their municipality, and they will pay for the travels, and they will pay for the car, and they will also pay you like a commission for every day that you are on tour. And yeah, we have a project that we have created where we teach kids about plants and wild plants in Norway. Yeah, and it's like, they make food with wild plants. We also go for a walk in like the area around the school, and we look at the trees and the plants that are growing, and we talk about them. And then we also make some paper with plants, because
So cool.
paper is actually made from plants most of the time. So it's actually part of this whole thing. And we have like combined this because I know a lot about plants and wild edibles, and my boyfriend Bendik, he knows a lot about art and making paper because he's a paper artist. So this is like a combination that we have created.
Made in heaven.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, and that's actually why I'm here as well, because I'm touring the West Coast right now, and then I get to visit you as well in Bergen.
Yes.
Which is really good.
Yay!
We get to see a lot of Norway as well. It's really fun.
What are the highest, like the highs of touring?
Good question. Like, are you asking about like memories, or just what I think in general is the good thing about it?
What are the good parts of it?
The pay is good. You get it says hva er satser? So it's a set payment in a way. So everyone gets the same payment for it. You get the same commissions, and doesn't matter what type of thing you do, and it actually doesn't matter how many hours you're gonna teach that day. It's just you get a set payment per day.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is really nice. And I really love how structured it is, because a lot of things with like freelancing and being an artist is not structured, and it usually doesn't pay really well. People don't really like count in that you need like some travel expenses, and you need food. Yeah, there are no securities in like this type of work. But with this, it's very secure. It's very like strict with all of the things that you have to like give these artists that are touring. So they have to get food, and they have to get like travel expenses covered. So it feels like you really get a lot of things just like from the get-go.
It's a package deal.
It's a package deal. Yeah, and you don't have to forhandle.
Oh, you don't have to negotiate.
Yeah. Which is what I do otherwise when I like talk with other people that wanna maybe hire me for like video making or something. Then there is a negotiation there, but with this, there is no negotiation. It's already just like
this is
a set payment.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
It is nice, and it's like 5,300 kroner, which I think is about $500 a day.
Perfect.
Exactly. So if you have like a month touring, you have like
pay for
quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe a month would be maybe like $10,000.
Is that per person? So you better get it each. Perfect.
So like a month would be like about $10,000 each.
You recommend this to people that want to?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if they have a course and they want to like apply to do this.
Yeah, and I do, because I think for a lot of artists it's really hard to just earn money, and I think that this is a perfect deal, because you can like be out there touring and be with all these really fun youngsters and kids that you can just like share your passion with them and have a lot of fun with that for like a month, and then after that you have like a lot of money for a while, so you can work on your art after that without the like struggles of always bringing in money.
Absolutely.
So it's really a good thing to just balance your artwork with, and it also is like, it's so rewarding to be able to share the things that you are passionate about with others, because being an artist can be quite lonely. So that's the second thing that is really good, that it's really nice to be out there and just talk with a lot of kids about the things that you love.
They love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for us, it's been going really well. So we get a lot of good feedback, and we have so much fun with these kids. Like this week, there was one girl, like after we have finished the whole workshop, then we've been with them for about 3.5 hours or something like that. And then we asked, what did you think? Like, was it boring? Was it fun? Like, you can be honest, And there was one girl who was like, I wish we would do this a lot more, because I loved it.
Sweet. Oh my god!
And it's so much fun. Yeah, I love that when it's like, they just really enjoy it, and you can see it when they enjoy it, and you can definitely see it when they don't. Like, it's not always going well, but most of the times it goes well, and they have just so much fun.
For some reason, like when kids love your work, it's the same here. Like when kids say they love an artwork, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Because they're so honest.
Much. Yeah,
they're so honest.
And it's like like when you're a child, that's when you do the creative things very freely as well. So they kind of are the best judges of what is fun, what is like a creative good time. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I think maybe if I'm gonna say like one more thing, it's definitely like just being able to share these things. I feel like it's very meaningful to share about like wild plants with these youngsters, because they usually don't know anything. Like they usually don't know like a single thing about the plants growing just outside their house. And I think we don't really know when we will have use of this knowledge again. And it's also some knowledge that is kind of dying out because a lot of people aren't talking about it anymore. We have these grocery shops now. We don't have
to just go buy the things you need.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I've heard like some of them have said like why would I eat food that is from the ground when I can just buy it in the shop? And I'm like, you know that the food in the shop also comes from the ground, right? So it's like this disconnect, and I feel like I get to reconnect the dots with them. And sometimes I can actually see that light, like when I just like tell them like, so this is made into this, and this is what you buy in the shop. And you can just see this like, okay, now
I think that's so important, because my mom told me a story when I was younger about a guy that used to work for her, and he was 20, probably like a adult man, and she in some conversation told him like, eggs comes from chickens, and he was shocked, and he was like, what do you mean? And she was like, eggs come from chickens. And he just was blown away. And I still think about that guy. Like,
that's
how
wild.
can you not know?
That's crazy.
But, like, the thing is, you don't get told that in school necessarily. But just like knowing where your food comes from is so important.
It is. It is. And I think just knowing that actually you can get food like just outside your door. It doesn't always have to be grown, you know, and it doesn't have to like be bought. Sometimes it's just there, just outside your door. And this abundance in a way that is actually here in our nature. I felt like that was the kick for me when I started learning about foraging, that I just felt like, wow, there's such an abundance of food and tastes and like these plants everywhere. They're just so useful. And that was really a kick. And I can see sometimes that the kids, they get that thing as well. Like afterwards, they're really like excited,
like
and,
looking around them,
you know, like, oh, is this edible? Is this edible? And sometimes they just like take some moss from the ground and they're just like, can I eat this? And I'm like, no, you cannot.
Oh my gosh, you just like, all the kids just go around eating everything.
It feels sometimes like bringing a group of rabbits
on
tour. Like it's,
But how did you start with the foraging?
Yeah, I started because I saw a post on Facebook that one person that I know had posted about making a cordial from fireweed flowers. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That grows in heaps in my backyard. So I just started trying that out. And I think, I don't know, I've always just been interested in like how you can use nature in different ways. I remember when I was a kid as well, I went to Waldorf school. Waldorf school. I'm just saying it in German. Yeah, but it's like we learn about a lot of those things there. And I always loved when we learned about those things. I remember really strongly when we learned about trees, and we had just like a whole, I think 3 weeks where we learned about trees in the beginning of the day. So 2.5 hours in the beginning of the day was just learning about trees.
Where was I? Like a big city, just...
Bendik is always like so jealous of me.
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. I really love this school system. But yeah, so I remember that I really loved those things when we learned about the trees, and I always wanted to implement these things into the play, like when I was playing with my friends and stuff. Yeah, but I think when I just made that cordial from fireweed,
that's when it started.
Yeah, I got this kick like, wow, this is fun.
And
then
what else can I make?
What else can I make? Yeah, and then I just started reading about it, and I was also writing my master thesis in literature studies and was so stressed. And I think those two kind of correlated, so I was super stressed, and then I really needed some place to go to just like release that stress, and that was nature, and that was foraging in a way. So in a way I kind of finished one study and I started another one at the same time, I feel like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun, but I don't have the coolest story about it though. It's just like
I think that's really cool though.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
And especially like we don't learn about this in school at all. Like how much you can actually eat in nature.
Yeah. They definitely don't learn about it.
No!
And they don't know the names of like the most common trees we have, like pine and spruce and birch. Like they call like the birch, they call it gran, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think I do.
Really?
I think I do that.
I should take you on a walk as well.
Please. Teach me.
Yeah. Do you know the difference between furu and gran?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Because furu, which is pine, is a little bit more wonky, and gran is more like, which is what's it? Spruce. That's a Christmas tree, right? So it's just the triangle. I've learned this because I draw trees a lot.
Yeah.
So I have to know the difference because I love the shape of pines, but it's really hard to draw.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to draw like the spruce because it's just a triangle. It's just a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's true. That's also helping me a lot that it's a Christmas tree. That I can actually talk with them about that because they know that, of course. It's a Christmas tree.
Everyone knows a Christmas tree. But I've called Christmas trees pines before.
Yeah. I understand that a bit more though because they're quite similar, but you know, like...
But it's just the needles, it's not the shape.
Yeah, and the needles are a bit different as well.
Yeah. Some of them are flat.
Nah, yeah, that too, but I mean like the pine needles are generally way longer.
Oh.
And also they grow in pairs, so they are like sticking together at the bottom in these like pairs.
Are the pine cones just pine?
Pine cones are just pine, yeah. But
because it's pine cones.
Yes. I think we should take like a walk. I'll show you.
Oh my god. I think I need to join one of the schools that you guys go to.
Yeah, you should.
Me just in the back of the class with a bunch of like 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Help me.
But I mean, the teachers usually know just as little as the kids.
Yeah.
This week also, I always tell them about that you can tap sap from the trees in this time of year.
Yeah.
And then I talk about birch sap, so björke, selvie. And then I tell them like, do you guys eat maple syrup? You know?
Because that's maple tree.
Yes, and it's made from the sap from the maple trees. Yeah. And it's not added, there's no added sugar in maple syrup because it actually comes from the tree and there's nothing added into it. It's just the tree sap boiled down into this syrup. And like the teacher was like, oh, I didn't know that. I've never known that. Like, you know, and it's like, those things are fun. Like this is fun when I can like teach people these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that as well.
Cool.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
It sounds so much fun to just tour and see like parts of Norway that I'm never even thought about visiting.
So many weird places.
Yeah, but like you went up to Kautokeino.
Yes. That's really fun. But I think I've done it for 3 years now and I really love it still, but it's starting to become a little bit less like...
It's not exciting in the same way?
It's exciting, but at the same time you can also get a little bit tired of just being out of your own place, like always being away from home, being away from our cat.
That's the thing, I've become such a homebody.
Yeah.
Just thinking about being away from my home for that long. Yeah. Like I don't sleep that well when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
And
it's a problem.
Yeah. It's probably something you have to get used to.
It is, and I usually don't sleep that well the first days in a new place. And I can always see that I'm a bit different when I'm on tour than when I'm at home, because I get all of these like blisters on my lip.
Because of the stress?
Yeah, and the bad sleep and the bad food and all those things.
Wow.
And as soon as I get home, I just feel like my face just like clears up in a way, and also the blisters go away.
Stress really wreaks havoc on my skin as well.
Yeah,
and especially when I travel, when the temperature or the humidity changes a lot from place to place. It just
that too.
It feels like a different person's skin in a way.
It does. Yeah, but it's part of traveling as well. It's fun to travel, so I love traveling, but it's just sometimes, like for example, now we've been in the same municipality for a month, and it's like, it's beautiful there, it's by the sea, and I love it, but at the same time, it's kind of a slightly boring place to be as well. You know, like, I get it. I think if I lived there, I would love that, because I would have my own routines, but when I don't have my own routines, and it's just like kind of normal place in Norway in a way. It's like we really try our best to figure out ways to be excited about this place, but at the same time it's like, so there's this one cafe and we don't sell that much good things, and it's like, it's really cozy there, you know, and we're like, it's cozy here. But at the same time we're like, so tired of this cafe. Oh. But I mean, it's exactly the same where we live, like not very exciting.
But it's easier to when it's home.
It's home, exactly. So that's the difference. So I'm not saying that we live in a much cooler place, because we don't. Like, it's definitely a very strange town. But we do have our things there, and we have our routines.
You know where things are.
Yeah, we have our friends, and we know the cool things there as well. When you are in new places, it's sometimes difficult to figure out like what is actually a really cool place to go to, and what is it's part of the fun as well, but it's sometimes a bit hard.
So do you guys have any plans for like the future when it comes to either like touring, or do you have any plans for the channel?
Oh, exciting.
And the creative things, you know?
That's fun.
Yeah, because you recently came out with a course, an online course.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I want to create more online courses.
Yeah, because I thought that was such a cool idea.
It's fun.
And it's so much work too, but it's a product. Like, you made a product.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I would rather do that than just share other people's products and do like commercials for people, because I'm probably maybe gonna do sponsors if I get some that I really like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do any sponsorships at all. Like, I'm not so strict with that.
No. Like, everyone does sponsors now.
Yeah.
And I feel like even with this podcast, like, if a sponsor would reach out in the future, and it would be something that we actually could
let us know
with a good conscience recommend, we wouldn't say no.
For sure.
Yeah,
it's true. But I like making my own things that I think will give value to people. So it's been fun creating that course, but I want to do one on foraging. It's just that it's a bit tricky, because my knowledge is based in Norway. And this will be in English, and I will have to figure out so many things.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are other plants, you know, in the United States and in the UK that might be similar to the plants we have here, and I will have to be very strict about like, I just need some more knowledge about the similar plants. And
maybe you have to do like a research trip.
Yeah, maybe I have to do something like that. And just, I mean, there are a lot of YouTubers from the UK as well making videos about foraging, so most of the time it's quite similar. Like, of course, the same plants, like if you have the Latin name of a plant, it's universal. So even if I know the Norwegian name, as long as I know the Latin name as well, it will be the same plant as in the UK or in the United States or whatever. So they can always just use the Latin name, and I will definitely include that in my course. But it's, I haven't really figured it out yet, just how to go about it. There are a lot of safety things. When it's edibles, you have to be a little bit careful. And I know that I'm knowledgeable about the things that I know, so I'm not very worried about that. But it's just that I need to have a little bit more knowledge about, if, for example, I would have one plant in the course and there's maybe a poisonous similar plant that grows in the United States.
Have to be careful to make the difference clear.
And yeah, exactly. And I will have to know about that, I feel like. While in Norway, I would just be able to say, so this plant is similar to this plant, and this is the differences. But if I don't know about the similar plant, then
that sounds like a lot of research, but you can do it.
Yeah, thank you.
But that's exciting.
Do you have plans for your shop and your artworks?
Well, right now, I try not to plan too far ahead because this is so new to me with the art shop and running it by myself. So right now I'm just going to get through summer and try to be here as much as possible.
But will you talk a little bit about that? Just give the context. But why is it so important to have a lot of artworks in the summer?
Of course, So this shop is located at Bryggen, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Bergen in Norway. So it is like the old part of the city, and it's Bryggen means the docks. Basically, so it's in like that old wooden structure. Like this wood is old, and it used to be a place to store fish. Actually, it doesn't smell like fish.
It doesn't smell like fish at all.
Luckily, not yet. But so naturally, since it is a tourist location, it's a very popular location for tourists that visit Bergen. This is like on the top 3, I think, places people visit when they come to Bergen.
For sure.
And in summertime is tourist time. So a lot of tourists are coming here this summer, and especially since the past 2 years have been so quiet. We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Someone forgot to turn off the 4K resolution on the camera, so it had to like stop recording. But we're back now.
We're back.
We were talking about Bryggen
and tourist season.
Yeah,
so it almost sounded like we said tourist season, which is something completely different. But summer. So from May till September, it's like the tourist season at Bryggen. And that's when I need to be here every day, whole day, and just sell, because that's like you get a set price for when you tour. That set price for me is not a set price, but it is the summer. So that's when I make the money that will
it's a buffer.
It's a buffer for the rest of the year. So in autumn, kind of quiet. In winter, it's really quiet. So summer is like, that's my main income of the whole year.
Do you feel like it's a bit frustrating sometimes that you have to be here all summer?
Well, this year is going to be the first year that I'm going to have to work this much. Since I'm alone. And earlier, since we've been 3 people, we've shared it in between ourselves. So I get some days off. Not this year. I'm planning to maybe hire someone to work for me so that I can have some days off. But I know that when I'm here, I earn more. Because people like to buy from the artist. It's a lot more personal, and it's like an experience. They say oh, I need to buy this because then I have a memory of you as well. So it's more personal, and I earn a lot more when I'm here.
That makes sense.
Yes. But then I have to be here a lot. So that's why I'm painting a lot now, just to like have the buffer for summer. Since that's how I earn my money.
And then you have a plan to be here for the summer?
Yes.
And do you have some plans after that? For what you're gonna do when it's off season again?
That's the thing. Everything is so like up in the air right now since this is so new to me. So I need to kind of look at how the summer is, like how it goes for the first time. And just see what I'll be able to do other than the shop. So I really want to get better at promoting my web shop. I want to start a Patreon because I've been thinking about it for a long time, but it's so hard to figure out what people want from me and what I'll be able to actually give people. Like,
it's so hard.
Just finding like the balance in how much energy and time you can put into something.
Yeah.
It's hard, and especially now that I feel like the shop is all consuming. This is all that I think about lately, and this podcast is so much fun though.
Yeah.
Like this is like a fresh air, like a fresh breath into my life, because
same.
the shop has been so all consuming since December, and now I feel like I'm getting ready to try new things, try more. But still, it is that kind of getting ready for summer and getting ready for the main event of my year, which is the summer.
Yeah.
But it's going to be such a bummer if this summer is really sunny.
Oh,
because I'm going to be in here the whole summer. And last summer was so rainy.
Yeah, so then it's fine being here.
Yeah.
But today, like, it's super sunny outside. But it's freezing cold in here. So, I mean, it is a bit frustrating. I can imagine. I know. There are no windows. It's just one door.
It's just the door.
Yeah. So, but it's still a super cozy place to be in the winter time.
Yeah.
And I mean, generally, like, what a workplace.
Yeah, I feel very lucky.
It's beautiful here.
And it's so historical.
Nice.
It feels like it has a lot of history, and the atmosphere is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, people come in here and say that, oh, this is like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's like a wooden kind of Diagon Alley.
Yeah, it's perfect for the art you make as well.
Yes, yeah, because I make a lot of woodsy.
Yeah, it's like fairy tale, like a lot of them, I think.
Yeah. So my plans are a little bit fluid.
Yeah.
Trying to figure stuff out. But I really want to start doing Patreon because I feel like getting closer to my followers. I've been so bad at Instagram for so long. I feel like I need a way to just reconnect with people in a way and figure out what people want and kind of get to know the core of my followers. And I feel like podcasting is such a great way to just like share more of your personal, like your personality. So
I think it's gonna be fun to be able to talk a bit more in depth about a few things, because I feel like YouTube, you can have like these long conversational videos, but it's, at least for me, it's not the thing that my followers like the most. The long conversations and stuff in my videos sometimes take a bit too much space, but it's gonna be fun to have it here.
Yeah.
And I think you should start a Patreon. Maybe you should you can make the content for your Patreon when you are working.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that too. Just showing like the behind the scenes of how it's like to run an art shop. I
mean, I would love that. Just imagine just having a person that does Patreon and the only thing they share is actually just like video from their like day in the life thing, without editing, just like filming. You're just your day.
Yeah.
Or not like the whole day.
No.
Just like, what if it would be like every day? Of course, I know you might not want to do this, but it's like every day the person goes to the shop and they set up a camera, and then for an hour or 2 hours, the camera just rolls and they post that to Patreon. And you can just follow this person on like their work in the shop. I just think it's kind of cozy in a way.
That's the thing for me, since I've been doing it for so long, it's just, for me it's boring. Because I do it every day. It's not like, I know the routine, I know everything I need to do. And for me it's just like plugging in the lights, trying to like sort all my artworks and prints, and for me it's just paperwork. But I know it's so interesting for other people. Like I love watching behind the scenes of like making videos and just like music and stuff like that. So I know it must be interesting for some people.
And I was just thinking also that if you have a work day anyways, when you are here, you're at work, so just making the content for Patreon at the same time as you are here
at work
is probably a good idea. So you kind of like separate it from your free time afterwards, then you're finished with both of them, you know?
That's a really good idea. Oh, okay, well, Patreon is on my agenda.
We'll keep you posted about that, I guess.
And then the podcast. And I've been doing like a little bit of podcasting on my own as well, but that's more of like a diary type form. This is more like entertaining and fun. Conversational. But the stuff I've been doing is a more diary, calming, mindfulness type of podcast. So that will be probably something I could post on my Patreon as well. That's cool. This is fun though.
I think so too. And yeah, as we said, we do have another episode. It's gonna sound a bit like it was the first episode, because it kind of was.
It was the first one. But we just realized after the fact that it didn't work as the first one.
No, I think this one was a
I
better
agree.
first one.
So welcome to the first episode.
Welcome to the first episode. And yeah, we have tried to figure out the audio. I'm sorry if it's not the best audio.
We're learning.
We're learning by doing,
yeah.
So just stick with us, just give it some time.
We'll figure it out.
The quality will be better, you know, like all those things. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Yes. I think we are going to end it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a sunny day and we
want to go out in the sun.
Yeah,
it's so rare.
yeah, it is rare for sure. Yeah, I guess we're gonna say goodbye.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
I never do that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, well, we just did. All right.
First episode, first time.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.